Good morning, Vault 76. This is the Overseer. I hope you all enjoyed the party last night, even those who may have overindulged and overslept. But it's time to get up and get out there. We've been locked away long enough. Today is Reclamation Day.
Hey, what's up, Internet? Alpha here today to talk a little bit about Fallout 76. As most of us know, the best of the conference has taken place, and there was a good info dump about what was going to be happening about Fallout 76, confirming or denying a lot of people's concerns about the game. Starting off, it was confirmed that Fallout 76 was going to be a completely online game with a map that is 4 times the size of Fallout 4. This has me a tad bit excited, but also just has me just as worried. As a reinsurance, they did state that the game was possible to be played as a single player. Now, this raises a couple questions for me. Like, if the game is constantly online, does that mean you can play solo within that multiplayer space? Or can you create a private server that on the fly that lets you just play by yourself and no other players can join? The good news about the online multiplayer, though, is that the Fallout game is finally going to have multiplayer. Personally, I know I've always wanted to be able to play the Fallout games with my friends. I have a few that are super into the world and the atmosphere just as much as I am. But the bad news about this is we're told it sounds like the multiplayer experience will be more like that of Rust than a true co-op game.
For peace. When you emerge from the comfort and safety of your vault, the world you know will have changed. Take your friendly old neighbor Johnny. Rather than coming over to borrow a cup of sugar, he may now be coming over for murder.
I know I probably won't mind that, but for at least one of my friends, I know for a fact they'll definitely have an issue with that. And I just want to know, are you guys looking forward to battling out with your other Fault Dwellers, or would you rather see a more true co-op experience that's more PvE based than PvP based? Now, from what the gameplay demo showed, the game looks and feels like a true Fallout experience, which I know a lot of people were concerned about. Other than the obvious new multiplayer elements, it should be a solid Fallout game. What concerns me, though, is throughout much of that gameplay, I was seeing a large amount of reused Fallout 4 assets, which explains why the game was pumped out so quickly and why we're getting another Fallout game instead of another Elder Scrolls game. What happened to Elder Scrolls? Fallout. Elder Scrolls? Fallout, Bethesda. I'll wait. Okay, normally I wouldn't care all that much about the reused assets, but the fact are that the Fallout 4 assets is why I'm causing an issue here. Fallout 4's weapon system, while unique to the series, took away one of the best things about Fallout, and that's finding hidden named weapons. Exploring the world and stumbling across a super powerful, lore driven weapon was easily one of my favorite things about Fallout 3 and New Vegas. Not only did it give meaning and significance to the places you explored, but it also was an exciting way to give players power boosts without feeling like a cheap gimmick or just a number increase. And Fallout 4 removed all that and replaced it with a lazy system that turned weapons into modulars of generic based weapons. And even the named weapons you got from quests or loot were just modified base weapons that were no more powerful than a regular modified base weapon, or even better than a superior monster drop. And on top of it all, I'm not going to pretend I didn't see this coming, the rehashed version of, you guessed it, base building. After saying that you're probably going to expect me to bash the base building system, but I'm not. I actually kind of enjoyed the base building system in Fallout 4. The endless resource collection, too, though, not so much. But that's what spawning commands are for. Sorry, console peasants. One day you'll ascend to the PC master race, as we all do eventually. The thing is I dislike about the base building in Fallout 4 was that it was tied to a terrible repeatable quest system that made the game feel like an MMO daily grind than a Fallout game. Fallout 76 has me a little more excited for the base building though, because they seem to be using it as a multiplayer element rather than a story driven one. It gives your team of friends or whoever you're playing with something to work towards other than just story development or working on leveling or whatever. And when the story is over, the game can become more than just the story. It can become a PvP brawl against other bases or even a post apocalyptic Minecraft player's wet dream. Or my personal favorite application of this system is the potential for role playing. Depending on how the server system works, I could totally see Fallout 76 becoming an ultimate playscape for role players seeking a post-apocalyptic theme. Can't talk. Being able to create entire towns or cities, doing battle or creating trade routes between other player factions. The possibilities are just endless there, and I really, really, really hope Bethesda doesn't forget these often forgotten group of players. For a bit of the darker side of the multiplayer base building, if anyone has ever played on a public server on Rust or Ark, Conan, these are typically known to be very toxic places where griefing runs rampant across the playscape, and I really don't want this to happen to Fallout. The worst part of this, and I actually cannot believe I saw this when they showed it, they put in actual griefing mechanics into the game. Like, come on, really? Nukes? You're just gonna give people nukes that they can blow each other up with? Like, fucking nukes. Did you really not see a problem with this? I understand you need to get the launch code, and that might mean working with other players or even fighting against them to try and get their code if they won't give it to you. But goddamn, why do games do this? Obviously, I'm not a huge fan of this mechanic, but I want to know what you guys think. Are you glad they're putting in a revenge/slash griefing mechanic into the game, or do you hate it? Another big concern of mine that opens in Fallout 76 is the inevitable onset of monetization. Multiplayer will eventually bring the idea of microtransactions and further monetization to the game, as it always does. And I'm begging you, please, Bethesda, don't fuck this up. My personal advice for you on this would be to just not do it. Just don't do it. I know that probably won't happen, so all I can say is if you're going to do it, please do it right. People love your franchises, and you know people will buy your shit regardless of if it's good or not. So just make it good, okay? Okay, cool. Do I sound reassured? I don't think so. And with all that concern out of the way now, I can finally talk about what I'm super excited for, and that's the monsters. I love cryptozoology and mythical creatures, and all the new enemies they revealed were monsters. Yes! I'm so excited for this. You have your regular basic death claws and whatnot from the previous games, but we also have mega sloths, what look like spider frogs, uh, the Wendigo type creatures that live in the swamps. Scorcher, I believe it was called, the giant like gargoyle looking thing that was blowing up people's bases in single attacks, and the Beast of Grafton, whatever that thing is. And to be honest, these things alone will have me enjoying Fallout 76 regardless of the multiplayer or not. And I cannot wait to battle these massive creatures with by myself or with my friends. I really don't care. Like I'm just going to enjoy that experience. And with that being said, I think that wraps up about all the new information we were given on the game. Uh, I love Fallout and its universe, and I'm pretty excited for November 14th. I have my concerns with the game, which I'm sure the rest of you do too, and I'll try to keep you updated on my opinions about those concerns as more information becomes available. But I want to know what you guys think about the game given this new information. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know in the comments. And as always, If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Your support is appreciated.